The governor of the state of Illinois has declared a gubernatorial disaster proclamation in response to COVID-19 outbreak, and all of the village of Glendale Heights is covered by the disaster area. In light of the ongoing COVID-19 outbreak, the village president of the village of Glendale Heights has determined that an in-person meeting for the May 19, 2022 village board meeting is not practical or prudent in light of the disaster. All of the trustees of the village board participating in the May 19, 2022 village board meeting, wherever their physical location shall be verified and determined that they can hear one another and can hear all discussion and testimony during the meeting. Signed, Chaudhry M.A. Khokar, Village President of the Village of Glendale Heights, dated May 19, 2022. I would like to call this village board meeting of Thursday, May 19, 2022 to order. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Mayor Coker,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt,
Here.
Trustee Siddiqui.
Here.
Trustee Light.
Here.
Trustee Meritato.
Here.
Trustee Pojek. Here. Trustee Schroeder.
Here.
Please stand and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Forward this chair. You switch.
We now move to B, petitions and communication. Number one, community announcement. Trustee Schmidt, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
With the arrival of the spring season, the Village of Glendale Heights, along with the Glenside and Bloomingdale Fire Protection Districts, would like to remind residents that it is unlawful for any uncontrolled burning of landscape waste. Fires in approved containers like fire pits are allowed as long as they are at least 15 feet from any structure, including patio sets, fences, garages, sheds, and houses. For more information, please contact the Glenside Fire Protection District at 630-668-5323 or the Bloomingdale Fire Protection District at 630-894-9080. The next coffee and chat with the village president and board will be Saturday, June 4th at the Center for Senior Citizens from 10 a.m. to noon. If you are unable to attend and have any comments, suggestions, or questions for the village president or village board, please call the village president's office anytime at 630-909-5302. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Siddiqui, please.
Republic Services offers free electronic recycling for all Glendale Heights residents on the second regularly scheduled collection day of each month. Republic Service will collect electronic recyclables with your regular garbage and recycling collections. In order to have an item collected, you will need to contact Republic Services at least 24 hours in advance. Your electronic items should be kept separate from other waste for curbside pickup. For complete list of acceptable items, please contact Republic Services at 847-981-0091. Join State Representative Conroy and Senator Glowiak at free community document shredding events this Saturday, May 21st from 9 a.m. to noon. The shredding truck will be located in Civic Center parking lot and all the paper documents will be destroyed on site. If you have any questions, please contact State Representative Deborah Conroy's office at 630-415-3520.
Thank you, Mr. Trustee. Trustee Light, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On Monday, May 30th, Memorial Day, at 11 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park, we will honor the memory of the brave men and women who had died serving our country. sorry, Glendale Heights VFW Post 2377 will conduct a fallen warrior ceremony, followed by a solemn wreath-laying ceremony. This includes a flag and color guard presentation, rifle salute, and patriotic acknowledgement. If you are interested and available in volunteering to help plant American flags on Thursday, May 26th at Veterans Memorial Park, please visit the village's website at www.glendaleheights.org. Each flag represents a fallen soldier from Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan. In observance of Memorial Day, village's offices will be closed on Monday, May 30th. For more information, please call David at 630-909-5348. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Light. Clerk Schmidt, please. Yes. Clerk
Okay,
Schmidt.
sorry.
No problem.
The Village of Glendale Heights is now hiring for a number of full-time, part-time, and seasonal positions at Glendale Lakes Golf Club, GH2O Aquatic Center, Public Works, and the Parks, Recreation, and Facilities Departments. Positions range from laborers, lifeguards, youth program counselors, and many more. Gain valuable experience and make friends that will last a lifetime working for the Village of Glendale Heights. For more information, please visit www.glendaleheights.org/HR or contact Human Resources at 630-909-5357. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Schmidt. Trustee Maritato, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Village vehicle stickers for 2022, 2023 are now on sale. The new vehicle stickers must be displayed by 12:01 a.m., July 1st, 2022, on the lower right-hand corner of the windshield. Passenger vehicle stickers are $15. Motorcycle tags are $12. Recreational vehicle stickers are $18. And trucks with B plates are $25. There's an additional price schedule for trucks based on their individual weight. Qualifying senior citizens receive one sticker per household at no charge. Village ordinances restrict overnight parking on village streets to those vehicles having a valid vehicle sticker. For more information regarding village vehicle stickers, call 630-260-6000. During the remainder of May, parking restrictions will be in effect from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. due to street sweeping. Color-coded no parking signs are posted in 4 different zones throughout the village. Street parking is not allowed on Mondays for the red zone, Tuesday for the blue zone, Wednesday for the green zone, and Friday for the brown zone. To find out your zone, visit the village website. For any questions on street sweeping program, please contact Public Works at 630-260-6040. Thank you.
Welcome. Trustee Pojek, please.
The Glendale Heights Police Department is now accepting applications to become a police officer. Join the Glendale Heights Police Department and make a difference in your community. Applicants must be received by 11 p.m. on Monday, June 13th. A mandatory orientation meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, June 15th at 7 p.m. at Marquardt Middle School. Additionally, a written exam is scheduled for Saturday, June 18th at 9 a.m. For more information, please visit www.glendaleheights.org/HR.
Thank you, Mr. Pojek. Mary Schroeder, please.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Summer is just around the corner, and the Glendale Heights 2O Aquatic Center will be opening on Memorial Day weekend on May the 28th. Purchase your pool pass now through May the 22nd for a discounted rate. Benefits for becoming a member include priority entrance at 11:30 a.m., discount on swim lessons, swim team registration, pool rentals, and more. For more information, contact the Sports Hub at 630-260-6060. Thank you.
You're welcome, Mary Schroeder. Next is a presentation of life-saving award by the police department. Mr. Peppers.
Thank you, Mayor and Village Board, for
Welcome.
the opportunity to recognize the exemplary actions of one of our officers, Officer Paulina Jelowitz. On Monday, May 2nd, officers were dispatched to the 100 block of Fleetwood Drive for a female in full arrest. Officers went to the upper level bedroom where they located a female lying on the floor. Officer Paulina Jelowitz found the female to be unresponsive and without any vital signs. Officer Jelowitz immediately began CPR by administering chest compressions. In addition, Officer Jelowitz administered shock through the police-issued AED and continued chest compressions upon the arrival of the Glenside paramedics. Through her actions, Glenside paramedics were able to locate a pulse on the female. Officer Jelowitz continued to assist the Glenside paramedics with life-sustaining efforts through resuscitation by assisting in the regulating of oxygen levels to the female. The quick and decisive actions by Officer Jelowitz helped to preserve a life of one of our residents. Not only did Officer Jelowitz remain calm, she showed great teamwork with the Glenside paramedics to take care of the female. Remarkably, this was Officer Jelowitz's first day working patrol after graduating the police academy. I would like to recognize Officer Paulina Jelowitz for her professionalism, dedication, and determination to save the life of one of our residents. Today, we have, I'm not going to say the name of the person who was the female, but we do have her daughter here, so if her daughter can come up, please, and her son-in-law. This is Jamil and Salim. They already presented Officer Jelowitz with some flowers, so. Update on her, she is at home and she's in good condition, so. So I'm going to present you with this plaque. It's our life-saving award presented to you. By and through your actions and dedication to duty, took substantial steps which led to the preservation of life. Because it was involved in a life-saving measure, she is allowed to wear, we only allow pins for certain things, and she's going to be able to wear a life-saving pin on her uniform from here for the rest of her career. So great job. Mayor, can we have a second to take some
Yeah, sure,
pictures?
sure.
Okay. Can all the officers come up here? And family, too? So what we'll do is we'll have.
I'm surprised Glenside's not here. There's nobody from Glenside. Why? Do they not like us anymore? You know, maybe they don't know I'm here because I'm practically sitting on the floor. How's it going?
I think.
How you doing?
How are you? Does this chair adjust up? Hey, dude, Does this chair adjust? Does the chair I'm sitting on, does it go up? Yeah.
2, 3.
You look taller that way, Mark.
I'm not gonna wind up on the floor, am I? Sure, you know, I still.
As high as it goes. Mark. That's why I got a push. I feel like you and
That you're tall?
Take a
That's what
bite
they
out of
told me.
grass.
Yeah.
Take two right on the end.
Hi, doctor. Drinking nap. I lost a half an inch. I thought it was spinal fusion.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Look it up.
once you get
Night, Dave.
I had to
I
contact them,
can't stretch anything. I have screws and
see if I
plates in
can
my back.
dig out the website. or-
You can
short.
let me know.
Okay.
Because I never received it.
I
No,
do want to
it-
get her with the
Apparently it
family.
was sent out, notice was sent out, but I don't
Everything
remember
is-
seeing it either, so I contacted them and they said, oh, you go here, and that's where it is, so.
So yeah, if you get it, just forward it to me. I'll email
Okay,
them.
okay.
Yeah, they don't. But they do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
So they take
Not a job.
for
We're not.
when he doesn't have a mental capacity.
They don't want to.
Oh, but doing her job. I'm like, oh, you're so mean. And she did a good job, you know, she did great. I don't think
I
so.
feel like at her first day.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, okay.
I think so.
No, the computer.
Thank you.
No way to compare it.
Nope.
Just continue.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff going on now. Was there, yesterday, or Tuesday, putting signs together, and needed help.
It's true.
We now continue with the presentation by.
Hold on one moment, Mayor. We can't hear you.
Oh, she's off.
No, it just clicked out. He's not
Okay.
muted. Can you speak into your mic one more time?
Talking to your mic.
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. It's good.
Is it good now? We can start?
Yes.
You're good, Mayor.
We now continue with the presentation by Michael Chong of Global Life to discuss, Global Life to discuss voluntary benefit.
Hello, everyone. It's a little louder than I thought.
Quickly, Michael, hold on one second.
Yes.
Just so the board knows and anybody in the public watching knows, Michael's here to just discuss a benefit that we're going to be offering to our employees for life insurance that we don't currently have. So we're just kind of making the board informed of a new benefit that we're going to be rolling out to our employees.
Thank you for that. So yes, my name is Michael Chong.
Okay, Chong.
Yeah, Michael Chong. I'm agency director, and this is Mallory Radu, agency owner for Global Life Liberty National. First off, I'd like to say that I'm honored to be here in front of the board and given this opportunity to serve this great village. I actually grew up right down the street on Fullerton and went to school at Americana. And now I'm currently among the benefit providers at Glenside Fire, helping protect your guys and ladies, noble firefighters and their families over there. So that brings me to the point of why I'm here. Give you a little bit about Global Life, tell you a little bit about Global Life. So we are a national public company headquartered in McKinney, Texas, but we've been around since 1900. Local offices across the country, but here we're headquartered in Naperville to serve the entire state. So we help provide employee benefits for many governments and taxing bodies throughout Illinois, including Franklin Park, Schiller Park, Glenside Fire Protection District, which I mentioned, and South Elgin Fire Protection District, just to name a few. So I've spoken with the village administration about providing voluntary benefits to full-time employees related to our unique life insurance, accident, cancer, endurance, critical illness, and intensive care. There are some immediate advantages to the village, but before I get into that, I'll talk about the life insurance, which provides a need for all your employees. It goes to age 100. You have the option of being paid, done paid at 65. It's pre-tax, so it saves the employees and the village tax dollars. And there is no health exam. There's just a few health questions. The policy is fully portable, and the premium is fixed, so it never goes up in price, and the coverage never decreases. We also take care of the catastrophic, where the medical catastrophes that do cost people a lot of money, because the number one cause of bankruptcy in the United States is because of medical debt. We have several policies, including accident, cancer, endurance, intensive care, critical illness, that pay cash directly to the employees. So it takes care of those medical bills, or in the case that you have a very great health insurance program, there's still that time off that needs to be compensated for. And so having these policies helps alleviate that burden for your employees. So as I mentioned, each of these benefits are standalone and paid directly to the employee. There are major immediate advantages to the village. First of all, the entire program is at no cost to the village. It's voluntary to all the full-time employees. There is the pre-tax advantage, which I explained earlier, which is payroll taxes, FICA, that the village won't have to pay for any deductions that the employees elect, for the policies they elect. All the policies are fully portable and fixed in price upon entry, and there is no minimum participation required. Everything is offered a la carte, and we do a needs-based planning and consulting with each employee, very hands-on. We also provide every employee two no-cost free benefits. They are including first $3,000 of accidental death life insurance for the employee, $3,000 for their spouse, and $1,000 per dependent child. And then we also give them a membership card to our national network of partners, local providers for prescription drugs, 80% off there, 35% off vision and hearing, and 10% off chiropractic care, which is given, like I said, to every employee at no cost to the village nor the employee. This is how we start that relationship. So the number one thing that we take most seriously is customer service. We are just behind State Farm, JD Power and Associates for customer service. I, myself, Mallory, or someone on my team in Naperville would be taking care of any billing issues or claims directly. So you wouldn't be calling a 1-800 number. So once again, I am honored to be here, and thank you for your audience.
Is there any questions that we could help answer, or concerns?
I just want to let the board know that this is a product that we don't currently offer, which is the portability of a life insurance product to our employees who are going to be retiring. Our current product, kind of end of life, is when you retire. And if you do carry it on post-retirement, the cost increases tremendously, especially as you age. This one is portable. This product is portable for anybody who wants to elect into it, and the price doesn't increase no matter how old you get. So once you're locked in, you're locked in. So it's just a benefit that we're offering, strictly opt-in on behalf of the employee. So I think it's a positive benefit for our people.
And I'd also like to add that the coverage, once again, it doesn't decrease, it's fixed. So, for example, IMRF, over time, it decreases as you get older. This is a permanent, or nearly permanent policy. It goes to age 100. So it's 1.7 out of 10,000 that even make it to that point. So the point is that it covers that an employee will have and their family will have when they need it. And go ahead, sir.
Are these benefits available to police personnel also?
Yes, it's for every employee that is 28 hours or more, full-time.
Okay,
Yes, go ahead.
my question is, it's not open to them, we can't open it up to part-time? I mean, if part-time people wanted it? I mean, if they were asked to,
When you say part-time, what are those hours typically for part-timers? Can
of
some
our
work
part-timers
20
are
hours a week? So most of the time, we leave it up to the discretion of who's handling payroll deductions. If they're okay, because a lot of these benefits are $10 a week. I mean, they're minimal as cost as possible. So if a part-timer doesn't have benefits and the village admin and Nicole would be okay with doing a deduction, then we're okay with it as well. So it kind of, we discussed with them who would be eligible on their end, and if they would like us to offer it to the part-timers, we can get that approval.
oh, okay, thank you.
Tester?
How does it affect trustees? We already have life insurance now
It
through our
doesn't.
village.
It doesn't. So this policy doesn't cover elected officials.
Oh, it doesn't?
No.
Okay.
This is something completely separate from what you already have.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and it's not a replacement for anything that you currently have.
Right.
So,
But can we add to it on our own?
We have had elected officials opt into the plan. Again, that's up to the discretion of the, because I'm assuming you're on some type of payroll, whether it's quarterly. So, you know, we could discuss that, how the deduction would be pulled, because normally premiums are coming out of payroll deduction. So if you don't have a payroll deduction, it'd be hard to enroll, but we have had opportunities where elected officials have opted in, and they've just transferred it to like a checking account. So if any of the employees ever were to leave, they would just transfer it to a checking
by me.
account anyway to keep it, but that would be an option that you would have.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, Mohammed.
no, go ahead, first complete.
If you'd like, we'll certainly review that with them and figure out how we can make that a payroll reduction for elected officials and open that up.
Okay, thanks.
Could we just cut a check for the amount?
Yeah,
I mean, whatever the premium is for the year, and cut you a check for the whole year, that way it won't be a
Not the
deduction.
deduction, yeah. I'll ask on that. Most of the time, if they don't do a payroll deduction, they do it once a month out of a checking account draw. That's usually the other option, but I'm not sure you could just pay it all up front. But I'll have to find out and get back to you
Okay,
on that.
thank you.
We'll research that and open it up.
So how did we know about this Global Life? Are they referred by someone or they are already?
Michael actually cold called us from the fire department.
Well, well, it wasn't just like one attempt, several attempts, and I went in the lobby.
So
and
telemarketing
actually-
works, huh?
No, no, I don't, I do it in person.
Right.
I physically came to the door.
Okay.
Yeah, but, yeah, actually, it was, even before Doug was, in his position, that I was still trying to get into the village of Glendale Heights. But, like I said, I already had a relationship with Glenside Fire Protection District, so just started from there.
So persistence pays out. Good.
I am one persistent person,
Anyone else?
which goes into filing claims and taking care of any problems you guys have, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We now go on the public discussion of agenda items. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on an agenda items? None. You have the consent agenda before you. Would acting village administrator Doug Flint please read the consent agenda?
Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
Consent agenda 1, approval of the regular board meeting minutes of May 5th, 2022. 2, approval of the committee of whole meeting minutes of May 5th, 2022. 3, approval of the accounts payable listing of May 19th, 2022 in the amount of $2,310,250.89. 4, resolution adopting the village employee health insurance plan. 5, resolution authorizing the issuance of a notice of award and authorizing the execution of agreement with Kai's Restaurant Incorporated for the sale of alcoholic beverages at Glendale Heights Fest. 6, a resolution authorizing the execution of a change order number 1 final for the Glen Hill Drive Water Main Replacement Project in the Village of Glendale Heights. 7, motion to approve pay request number 4, final, for the CDBG Glen Hill Drive Water Main Replacement Phase 1 in the total amount not to exceed $100,038.25. 8, motion to approve pay request number 8 to Joseph J. Henderson and Son Incorporated for the digester rehabilitation project in a total amount not to exceed $372,418.62. 9, motion to amend the non-union, non-exempt pay plan. 10, approval of consent items.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? First, trustee Pojek, second.
So moved.
Second, trustee Pat Maritato.
Second.
Discussion? No, none. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
Yes.
trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
The consent agenda is approved. Old business. There is none. New business. There is a request to waive first reading on new business item 224. Is there a motion to waive first reading on new business item 224? First, trustee Schmidt,
So moved.
trustee Pojek.
Second.
Discussion. None. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
Yes.
trustee Schroeder.
Yes.
First reading is waived on new business item 224. Number 2, an ordinance authorizing the execution of an agreement for the 2022 Glendale Heights Fest fireworks display by and between Myant Incorporation and Village of Glendale Heights. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-40. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-40? Trustee Light.
So
first.
moved.
Trustee Schmidt, second.
Second.
Discussion.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Did we decide on 1 or 2 nights?
One.
One.
One?
Yep, just on Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Second, trustee Pojek.
No.
Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
Yes.
trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
trustee Schmidt.
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-40 is approved. Number 3, an ordinance to waive bid and accept the proposal of AF Services Incorporated for security services for the 2022 Glendale Heights Fest and authorize the execution of a contract by and between AF Services Incorporated and the Village of Glendale Heights, LNI. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-41. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-41? First trustee Schroeder.
So moved.
Second.
Second, trustee Pojek. Discussion. Yes, trustee Pojek.
Doug, how many security officers are we gonna, or, this is for George, I'm sorry.
It's a mix here because the Darcy actually did a great job negotiating this. We went with 2 firms. You'll see the next item is a second firm. One firm will work the gates, and then one firm will be the actual security in the park with the police officers. Both firms are off-duty or retired officers. The gate personnel primarily will be 9 people a day or an evening, except for on Sunday, there will be 12. For the security for the next item, we'll have 12 each night, and that'll be 5 or 6 that'll be in the midway or by the bandstand, and then the other ones will be throughout the carnival area.
Thank you, Chief.
Anybody else? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
Yes.
trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-41 is approved. Number 4, an ordinance to waive bid and accept the proposal of ETS Intelligence LLC for security services for the 2022 Glendale Heights Fest and authorize the execution of a contract by and between ETS Intelligence LLC and the Village of Glendale Heights, LNI. First reading is waived. This is ordinance 2022-42. Is there a motion to approve ordinance 2022-42? First, trustee Schmidt, second trustee
moved.
Light. Discussion.
I really have a question. What
Yes.
is the difference between 3 and 4? I mean, they're both security systems, aren't they?
It's the tools that they use. One of them will have the first one listed is gonna be doing the wanding, so they'll be at the gates, so they'll be wanding anything ready for any metal or weapons, and they'll be patting them down. The second firm will be working the actual grounds with us, and that's the big difference on it.
I think.
And also, neither firm had enough people to fulfill the entire need that we have. So in order to meet the need that we had for security, we had to go with 2 firms.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Anybody else? None? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Ordinance 2022-42 is approved. Number 5, an ordinance to amend Chapter 4 entitled General Traffic Provision of Title 7 entitled Motor Vehicle and Traffic of the Village Code of the Village of Glendale Heights, LNI, overweight permits, first reading. We now go on the public discussion of agenda items.
Wait a minute. Are we gonna discuss this? Or?
No,
Well, yeah, I have a lot of questions. I mean,
first reading.
That's just the first, you're talking about
The vehicles.
I-
Yeah, the vehicles.
It's just up for first reading.
First reading.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
First reading.
We now go on the public discussion of agenda item. Is there anyone in the public that would like to address this board on an agenda items? None? There is no,
Mayor Coker?
yes,
As permitted under the Illinois Open Meetings Act, I want to add executive session to the agenda here. One, purpose to discuss the purchase or lease of real property for the use of the public body, including meetings held for discussing whether a particular parcel should be acquired pursuant to the Illinois Open Meetings Act, 5 ILCS 120/2C5, and second, to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees pursuant to the Illinois Open Meetings Act, 5 ILCS 120/2, Section C1.
You're making a motion, Bill?
I will make the motion to add that to the agenda,
Well, you're making a motion to go into executive session.
to go into the executive session, yes.
Does it need a second?
It would
Yeah,
need a second.
I second that.
Then you would need a roll call vote.
roll call vote, please.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui,
Yes.
Trustee Light,
Yes.
Trustee Meritato,
Yes.
Trustee Pojek.
Yes.
And if we're gonna do that, then get a motion to adjourn this meeting to the committee of the whole meeting and then come back to executive session?
Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
That's what we usually do, Peter.
Excuse me, we want to do the committee whole meeting first.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a motion to
To adjourn.
adjourn this meeting, I shouldn't say adjourn this meeting, to continue this meeting
Continue, okay.
to allow the committee of the whole meeting to take place and then come back to this meeting.
Right.
So we're gonna suspend, a motion to suspend this meeting
I need motion to suspend this meeting
and move into the.
for,
committee of the whole.
and moving for whole meeting, committee of the whole meeting. Trustee Light,
So moved.
Second.
trustee Schroeder, second. Discussion. None, roll call.
Trustee Pojek?
Yes.
Trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
Trustee Schmidt?
Yes.
Trustee Siddiqui?
Yes.
Trustee Light?
Yes.
Trustee Meritato?
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned,
No, it's not adjourned.
No.
Suspended.
suspended.
And then we can go into the committee of the whole.
Okay.
I would like to call this committee of the whole meeting on Thursday, May 19, 2022 to order. Will the clerk please note who is present?
Noted.
Thank you. Does anybody have any additions or deletions? Okay, I'll start it. Trustee Schmidt,
Reimbursement.
what is it?
Reimbursement.
Trustee Siddiqui,
Status of the stipends.
What did he say?
Would you repeat that, please?
status of stipend.
Stipends.
Trustee Light,
Administrative policy.
Trustee Meritato,
Community development.
No, thank you.
all right, we got that settled. Public comment, is there anyone in the public would like to discuss, to address this board? And there's, please raise your hand, there's a 15-minute, 5-minute time limit. And please state your name.
Mr. Epstein, and I hope not to be interrupted during my 5 minutes. The first thing is I attended the village board and trustee meeting of this month, and only 50% of the board showed up. This is a good place for people on a Saturday to come and meet you. But if you're not there, how are they able to express their concerns? Many people work late and such and can't make that particular meeting. But being that it's both the mayor and the village board, it's kind of sad when 50% show up and then it drops down to 33% because somebody didn't like the way I was asking about why only 50% were there. Now, I understand that some reasons during the year, but for every meeting not missing it or something like that, it's pretty terrible, you know, it's your communities, it's your representatives. You're the representative for them, and if they have issues, they should be able to bring them to you. The second issue that I have is a question, except for Mr. Light, Mr. Kokar, and Mr. Meritato. The question that I asked at that meeting is what your opinion is on Black Lives Matter. And I expect to receive some type of answer from each of you, and I will sit down for the rest of this. I'm gonna stop you right there. The purpose of public comment at a public meeting is to address village business.
It is village business.
That is not village business, and that will be not an item that you can discuss at this
It
meeting.
is village business because you were bringing up racism. So that's why I brought it up.
Okay, but that is not an item that is.
Well, that's because there probably are some racists, so that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Anybody else? Please give me your name and address.
Peter Friedrich, my address is confidential. In 2014, as India was holding national elections, Narendra Modi threw his hat into the ring to try to become the nation's next prime minister. Here in the Chicago region,
And sir, I'm going to interrupt you. How does this address public business?
this relates to the interests of the city of the village.
from a foreign election?
Yes, sir, I'll get to it.
All right, if you could hurry up, I'll give you a little leeway.
Here in the Chicago region, one old friend of Modi's was so ecstatic that he apparently put everything else on hold so he could devote his time and resources to make sure that the Indian prime ministerial candidate got elected. Bharat Barai had already spent the better part of a decade popularizing Modi among certain segments of the Indian American population. Now he mobilized hundreds of volunteers and personally led them to travel to India from America to campaign for Modi. It was an odd choice.
Trustee
First,
Pojek, as the chair of the meeting, I'll give you discretion whether to continue or not, but this is not a public issue
not-
regarding the Village of Glendale Heights.
my understanding is that legally I'm allowed to speak on issues off agenda.
You're allowed to speak on issues relative to the village of the business of the Village of Glendale Heights.
This relates to the interests of the people of Glendale Heights.
What is your address, sir?
Pardon?
What is your address? You didn't give it to me.
He doesn't, Chester, he doesn't need to give you his address. He doesn't.
I want
need
to know if he lives in the village.
My address is confidential. I'm a freelance journalist, and due to the nature of my work, I do not share my address publicly.
But you're not required to give it, sir.
Thank you.
You're not required.
Okay, thank you.
But again, unless your comments address the business of the Village of Glendale Heights, your comments are not appropriate at this time.
My comments relate to the interests of the citizens of the village.
I'll give it to the chair. I'm just giving my legal opinion.
I agree with the attorney, and I think we should have a roll call with the board members.
Well, you don't need a roll call.
No? Okay.
If it's not a proper public comment, the board does not have to, the committee does not have to address it.
Well, I have to say, many times I've spoken at villages, town councils, city councils, county boards of supervisors, this is the first time I've ever been shut down.
I would say let him speak because,
I'm just advising you, you could let him
no,
continue.
that's fine, but I mean, since it's a public, so there is no harm to listening, and as he said, that it's going to be for the people, and we do live here, so I wouldn't mind listening for 5 minutes. That's my personal opinion,
Well, I object to that, Mr. Siddiqui.
yeah. But unfortunately, I'm
else?
not in the chair, so whatever
Anybody
the
else
chairman has
wanna
to say.
listen? Anybody want to listen to him?
I'll listen to him.
Yeah.
Trustee Light,
I'll hear him out.
Pat?
Go ahead, let him
Oh, go ahead.
do what he's gotta do, I guess.
What about me? You never asked me.
Oh.
What am I, chopped liver?
You're always better.
Hope to be nice.
Can I have my 5 minutes then?
Yes.
Okay, I'll be articulate, I hope. In 2014, as India was holding national elections, Narendra Modi threw his hat into the ring to try to become the nation's next prime minister. Here in the Chicago region, one old friend of Modi's was so ecstatic that he apparently put everything else on hold so he could devote his time and resources to make sure that the Indian prime ministerial candidate got elected. Bharat Barai had already spent the better part of a decade popularizing Modi among certain segments of the Indian American population. Now he mobilized hundreds of volunteers and personally led them to travel from America to India to campaign for Modi. It was an odd choice. First, Modi was a lifelong member of the RSS, a fascist paramilitary dedicated to exterminating Indian Christians and Muslims. But then Bharat Barai is a longtime leader in the U.S. wing of the VHP, a militant outfit that serves as the RSS's religious wing. Second, Modi was actually banned at the time from entering the U.S. after being implicated while serving as head of the state of Gujarat in overseeing or even orchestrating an anti-Muslim pogrom there. Third, Bharat Barai is a U.S. citizen. One might find it strange for an American citizen to participate in campaigning for the election of India's prime minister, but that didn't stop Barai or Barai's efforts, or some might call them interferences in India's sacred and sovereign elections. And those efforts paid off. Modi was elected. His job done, Bharat Barai must have had time on his hands. So, less than 2 years after working to get Modi elected in India, Barai turned his attention to getting Raja Krishnamurti elected to U.S. Congress in Illinois. During the 2016 primary election, Barai threw his voice and his cash behind Krishnamurti's campaign. By the day of that first primary election, Barai and his wife had already given the prospective congressman's campaign nearly $11,000. We all know how it ended for Raja Krishnamurti. He won the March 2016 primary, then the November 2016 general, and was then sworn into office in January 2017. Remember Bharat Barai's support for Modi? Well, after his hefty donations to Raja Krishnamurti's successful campaign, Barai must have been thrilled to see the newly minted congressman, within his first 6 months in office, travel to India to personally meet Modi. Modi's RSS past, his implication in a massive anti-Muslim pogrom, and his decade-long ban from our own country didn't seem to bother Krishnamurti. Posing for pictures with the pogrom-tainted prime minister, Krishnamurti grinned like a schoolboy meeting Santa Claus. And then, immediately upon returning to Chicago, Congressman Raja Krishnamurti welcomed at his office a delegation of HSS members, HSS being the international wing of the RSS. Yet another of Raja Krishnamurti's major donors, HSS USA Vice President Ramesh Patada of Texas, must have appreciated that. Patada incidentally exemplifies how Bharat Barai is not the only major donor to Raja Krishnamurti, who devoted immense time and resources to getting Modi elected in India. This is just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more. We haven't touched yet, for instance, on how Krishnamurti shared the stage in Chicago with the chief of the RSS. Nor have we discussed what the RSS is doing at this very moment, laying the groundwork and setting the stage for the genocide of Indian Muslims. Yet, oddly enough, the liberal Raja Krishnamurti, for all of his supposed concern about human rights, appears entirely disinterested in speaking out against the genocidal fascism that is taking root in India right now. Is it possible that's because the impending genocide in India will be perpetrated by a fascist regime that was put in place in part...
Mr. Peter, your time is up. Your 5 minutes is up.
May I finish my sentence?
No. You had 5 minutes. Thank you. And anybody else in the audience want to say anything?
Thank you.
Please come up. Thank you. Please state your name.
Oh, thank you. Kim Darlin, Greenbrier. 3 questions. Anything on the banquet hall?
No.
Anything on our pickleball court, Keith?
Not at this time.
Would you like me to volunteer to go and personally stripe that? We seriously can't get anyone to stripe a pickleball court?
It's on our list, but we're gonna finish getting parks up to go, and like I mentioned to you before, it's on my list, I promise.
I understand that, Keith, but summer's gonna be over and who's gonna play pickleball? And do we have anything on the dispensary? No. We're batting 1,000 here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, discussion reading. I have one, first of all. A presentation of economic development update from Joanne. I missed you. Sorry, Joanne.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to provide an update on economic development activity. Intuitively, there's a lot of activity happening, and I provide you with a bi-weekly report, but we wanted to go ahead and give you a little bit more specific detail and share that with the public as well. We have a lot of data ourselves in the village, but we also wanted to do some additional research, so we reached out to Choose DuPage, which is the economic development arm of DuPage County. They gather data, they assist municipalities, and they promote the county throughout throughout the nation. We also reached out to NAI Hiffman, who's a broker that we work with pretty regularly, and Lois, which is Location One. They've been contracted by the state of Illinois to provide site selection for the state, and any municipality can participate in that program. There are approximately 700 businesses in Glendale Heights. We have our main goal is to retain our existing businesses. So we have over 700 businesses, many long-term, but then we also have new businesses that come to the village each year. In 2022, which is the first 5 months of this year, we've had 27 new businesses open. Again, in 2021, 34, 2020, 26 businesses, 2019, before the pandemic, 42 businesses, and in 2018, 36 businesses. In addition to retaining our existing businesses and we work with businesses to fill vacancies. We also look for opportunities to annex property or to redevelop deteriorated properties or underutilized properties. The retail space, the village has a little over 1.9 million square feet of retail space. Right now, we have about 119,000 square feet available for release. That's 93.8% occupancy. That leaves 6.2% available for vacancy. Two of those, so retailers typically are smaller spots. We have two large vacancies right now that we're working with. The Salvation Army left Concord Green. That's 23,000, a little bit over 23,000 square feet. Working with the Schwabs who own the property to try to fill that. It is a difficult spot. It's a corner location with very low visibility, but we are working on that. And Q-Bar, that left, that's 17,500 square feet. Again, that's RMS owns that property, and we're trying to work with them to fill that. Those are two awkward spots, but we are making every effort to fill that. We were successful with the old Dominic's store. That was vacant for almost 10 years. That is filled with the self-storage, and we've got the Salon Suites in there and Maze. A couple more vacancies that still need to be filled in there. Some of the highlights is Northern Tools. I've talked about that a few times. They've submitted permits, and they are going to be going into Concord Green Shopping Center. The Valley Produce is going to reduce its size, and Northern Tool is going to move in. Aldi is expanding within the shopping center, so they're doubling their size, and we have the permits in for that. A little bit further was Buc-ee's and Casey's. If many of you recall, that was 602 North Avenue. Vacant property, vacant restaurant, had gone through many ownerships, and it was demolished and then reconstructed as the gas station. The Dodge Chrysler dealership was constructed next to or across from Sunrise Chevy and Nissan, supplementing our car dealership. So it started as the Dodge, and then they ended up expanding to add the Jeep dealership. Burrito Paria took a former fast food restaurant, so we certainly like to see those abandoned properties given new life. So Burrito Paria moved into that. Dunkin' Donuts redeveloped. They demolished the barbecue restaurant and built a new building there. In addition to our vacancies, the village in the last 5 years has created significant new development opportunities, so built ground up. Village does not have that much available land to build on, but we have worked with developers to build outlots. So Starbucks was a newly created outlot. Freddy's Frozen Custard was a newly created outlot. Popeyes, Burger King, Panda Express, Sleep Number, Crumble Cookies, which is next to the Sleep Number, are all new outlots. And the Crumble Cookies, it took the place of Pure Point Financial. That's under construction right now. So there's Freddy's and the Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks. So if you recall the barbecue place, the Dunkin' Donuts is a significant improvement. Office space, the village doesn't really have very much office space, which is actually a good thing because office is really the most challenging to fill. They typically have the highest vacancy rate, especially now it's even more difficult with the move to work from home. It's getting more and more difficult. So we have about 235,000 square feet of office space. 14,800 is available. It's still a 93.7% occupancy. So we have 6.3% available space. Couple highlights in the last 5 years. So I went back about 5 years. It got the current information on vacancies, but wanted to highlight some of the activity. The Glendale Animal Hospital, small animal hospital, kind of dated. They demolished and built a brand new animal hospital there. And then we've been working with ICNA Relief. They plan to purchase the funeral home that has been vacant. And I know a couple of you noted that the weeds were getting pretty tall. We did some code enforcement, and if you drive by the weeds, that's nothing to do with ICNA. That was the previous or the current property owner, and that has been cut this week. On my other hat, my code enforcement hat. So there's the animal hospital. Turned out beautifully if anyone has not been in there. In regard to industrial is really where our most significant development occurs. We have over 8 million square feet of industrial business park square footage. In the last 5 years, we've added an additional 745,698 square feet. So we've added to that inventory. That's a 9% increase in the square footage in the past 5 years. There are currently 361,922 square feet of available business space. That's a 95.5% occupancy rate. So 361 sounds significant, but when you compare it to the 8 million, it's really pretty good. We also, working with NAI Hiffman, the Central DuPage region, the current vacancy rate in Central DuPage is 6.28% vacancy, and the village is at 4.5. The biggest issue that we have right now, and I get a lot of calls from people that want to open businesses, is a lot of the ones that I talk to want to purchase industrial buildings. Most of our available space is for lease. So we work with people as best we can. We can't always get the right size or the right timing, so we have several people that unfortunately we can't accommodate because they want to purchase. But we still keep them aware and make sure that we reach out to the brokers and reach out to the property owners. So some of the more recent, we had to pare this down, and we tried to make it as big as we could, and we didn't put in a lot of the information of the people. Clyde's Donuts, we've talked about extensively. They have their permit to build out the entire rear building of the new development on Army Trail Road. United Mailing is recently leased the 150,000 square foot building at 101 Regency. When Cornelius vacated that, we were a little concerned because that's one of the biggest buildings we have in the village. And it was less than 6 months. They were able to get that leased. They're still working on leasing the adjacent building, but United Mailing has signed that lease. Another indicator that we believe is very positive is the number of businesses that have chosen to provide additional locations within the village. I feel like that means we're doing our job. If they have a location in the village and they are happy with the services that the village provides, then they're expanding within the village. U.S. Spice Mills has one location. They are currently adding 2 additional locations in the village. We met with them earlier this week to work out some truck loading issues. Hydeck has 3 locations in the village. Coda Resources, that took the entire 990 building, they are also taking part of 1 East North Avenue. Spraying Systems, large at Shipmail and North Avenue, they moved into 115 Lake with a whole different product, whole different line, but they wanted to stay in Glendale Heights. We've also been successful with the old UTI buildings. One of those buildings has been demolished and reconstructed with a new modern building that's occupied by Ferguson Plumbing and OSM Worldwide. Also good news is the 600 Wall Street that was previously owned by a governmental agency we now have an application for a cannabis infusing facility there. That is a purchase, and that will become on the tax rolls. 55 Army Trail Road, that's the front building. I mentioned that Clyde's is going into the rear. The front building is Army Trail ML, 2 leases, and the construction isn't complete. They just put the windows in a couple weeks ago, and that's already has 2 leases. 1 East North Avenue, I mentioned a couple times, that's fully leased already. That's DH Pace, Coda Resources, and Delmar. I didn't have a photo of 760. We have 2 tenants that we're working with. There are some fire code issues, so we've been spending quite a bit of time working with them to try to make sure that they can move into the village. As far as economic development goals that we have, we want to continue to work with developers and brokers to market available sites and particularly redevelop North Avenue corridor. There are some areas in North Avenue, as you all know, that are ripe for redevelopment, so we're working with those. We were very close with an assemblage a couple weeks ago, and one of the property owners got 5 offers, and he got cold feet because he got nervous that he was selling it for too cheap, too inexpensive, since he got 5 offers. So he's now withdrawn it from the market. So we're hoping that calms down a little bit and he decides to change his mind again and tries to sell. What we want to do in working with Choose DuPage is find out what our leakage is what businesses are not in Glendale Heights that should be in the village. So there's, the ESRI reports have that information. We can analyze the existing businesses we have, where our residents are going out of town to get services, and then we want to start to do some direct marketing to those businesses. Continue to respond to inquiries from business owners and brokers looking for locations. I had previously mentioned LOIS, or the Location One. We can upload all of our available properties onto that website and link it to our website. So anyone looking for property in the village, or any businesses looking, can just go to our website and then can behind the scenes be redirected to that. So that's a new program that we want to start. We started uploading the documents, but it's gonna take a little bit of time to get that done. Continue to review current regulations. This is something the board's been very supportive of, and will continue to do that, is look at our regulations, our zoning regulations, and bring forth proposed amendments that will help us become more business-friendly. Of course, protecting adjacent property owners and not undermining the quality of the village, but we did that with the cannabis regulations to encourage dispensing, encourage the infuser. We've done that with outdoor storage regulations, so some of the small outdoor storage that doesn't impact anything, we've now made those permitted uses rather than conditional uses. You'll recall we also did internet car sales, that we made that a permitted use rather than a conditional use to try to encourage internet car sales. So those are some of the things that we're working on. We have been working on, and then there's some new programs as well. So I talked fast. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Trustee Light?
First of all, great job. I'm very impressed. I'm very happy with all the movement that we have and all the growth. I've seen North Avenue is my big one. I like to see North Avenue, big time change. My quick question was, Buc-ee's, when they sold to Casey's, did they also take that lot next door?
They did not. Oh, I was I was too quiet. They did not take that, so that is still owned by Buchanan Energy. They had submitted a permit. The village board approved a strip center there.
Right.
They submitted a permit, and they haven't pursued that permit yet. So we need to reach back out to them. They just have not moved as quickly as we would have liked.
I was just questioning that. Thank you.
Sure.
Pat?
Joanne, yeah, I agree with Mike. It's, guys are doing a great job down there.
Thank you.
My question is, when they open up a business and they need some minor things done, are we letting them open and then let them fix it, like give them 30 days or 60 days to fix it? If they don't fix it, then we give them a ticket?
Absolutely, and we rarely give tickets. So there's a couple things that we do. We do conditional occupancy and we do temporary occupancy. So one of the companies that wants to move into 55 Army Trail Road, it's called Heartprint. They have machinery coming in from Germany. They don't have time. They need to build out their office. They're not going to have that office built out before the equipment arrives from Germany. So our building official and the fire district have an appointment. They're going to go there. They're going to determine what area of the unit they can put the equipment, start getting it set up, separate it out from the office. So even though they won't have they'll have conditional occupancy, so they can start to run those machines and get up and running. This is a new business. They actually print on cans for craft brewery. So they need to get up and running, and then they'll finish off the office. So that we do that as a conditional. The temporary occupancies, we allow them to operate, and then we create the list as long as it's not a not functioning fire alarm or sprinkler, but almost everything else we can work with, where we'll give them a temporary occupancy, give them 30 days or 60 days, or sometimes, especially now, we're giving them longer with the supply chain. They can't get all of the door hardware, all of those items. Spraying systems, 2 years ago when they moved into 115 Lake, we let them operate almost everything. We cordoned off basically a section of the building. We want to keep the employees safe. So the employees, we'd use caution tape, or they did, and we were there on site with them. so the construction guys could finish up the racking while Spraying Systems was able to get up and operational. So we do that more often than not. It's actually kind of rare. Retail is a little bit easier to get up, but we do stocking before they open while they're finalizing their exit signs. So yes, we work with them. Long answer, but yes, extensively.
Oh, good, thank you, Joanne, great job.
Thank you.
Mary?
I just have a couple questions, Joanne. When we're looking, and not that you're not doing a good job, I don't want to, let you think that I'm not satisfied with what you're doing, but these are just questions. When we have all this space available, do we advertise that we have space available in newspapers?
We don't. We work with the brokers. It's mostly online. There's really not people generally don't look at newspapers to look for space. So we work with a lot of brokers to they have their networks. So we make sure they're aware, and they are having that relationship is really key because they let us know what they have available as well.
All right, the other thing is, do we negotiate? In other words, do we say, well, if you come into our area, maybe we could reduce something for you? Or don't you have the authority to do that?
I do not have the authority, you do. And so we have done sales tax sharing agreements. What we've done mostly is in the TIF, the tax increment finance districts, and we have the business submit what's called a pro forma, where they say this is how much money we're going to bring into the village over the next 5 years or 10 years, and then we offer we've done that with some car dealerships where they say we're going to bring in so much sales tax, and then we say, okay, well, that's great. We'll share that sales tax, but the village gets the first percentage. So we always want to make sure that if someone's not being 100% truthful, that it doesn't harm the village. So we'll offer perhaps or they'll give us the first 50%, then we'll share the next, and then after that. So we do that, but that's always done with, actually Bill Poling participates in any of that analysis based on his expertise, and then we bring that forward to you.
Because if I remember correctly, when I think it was Home Depot or Menards, when they came in, we offered them something for.
Yes.
Am I correct?
You are, yes.
All right. And the other thing is with Valleys, is Valleys expanding? Is it reducing? What are they doing?
They're reducing. So they were pretty large. They were at 90,000 square feet, so they're reducing their size. So they're opening up part of the grocery store to allow Northern Tool to move in. So we're really excited about that. That's they sell tools, and they sell steel and Makita and a lot of the good to high-end tools, and they sell trailers. So there's not going to be a vacancy is the good news. So Valley's reducing their size, and Northern Tools is going to move right in.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bill?
Joanne, you talk about this facility that they don't have time to build out an office space. Would you consider something like having them use a double-wide trailer as a temporary office in there?
I've not been asked that question yet. I would defer to the building official and the fire district in that. If they can meet the fire, if everyone's safe, we'll entertain anything we can entertain. It's really keeping the employees and construction workers safe.
Okay, it popped in my mind because years ago out in Aurora, I was working for a smoke detector manufacturer who wanted to increase the engineering department. And the quickest way to do it was park a couple double wides out front, put passageways in there, and build out while the double wides were being used. So if you've got something like this where they can afford to use the trailer as their office space while they're building it out, that might be a solution to your problem.
Thank you.
Pat?
So actually, Joanne, right around a 5.5% vacancy, which is
We're at, well, industrial, we're at 4.3,
4.3.
4.3, so I,
So I mean, that's fantastic. I mean,
Yes.
with all the square footage we have in the village. I mean,
we're pretty excited.
yeah, right, what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, thank you, Joanne.
Oh,
One
Bill?
more. Is there any activity going on with the old Chinese restaurant on North Avenue?
There was a gentleman that I was talking to who was very interested in purchasing it. I think it was in one of the reports I sent. He wanted to make it into a restaurant. He did get into the building, and the repair is so extensive that he couldn't make the numbers work. So we are unfortunately going to need to focus on, unfortunately, that's going to end up being some code enforcement activity.
Okay, thank you.
I guess everybody's done.
Okay.
Excellent, excellent presentation.
Thank
I
you.
just want to let you know, Valley Foods is moving all their stuff already. I
Oh,
was in there
good.
the other day.
Good. Thank you.
Gonna be smaller.
It's gonna be bigger. Oh, Valley.
Valley's gonna-
Yeah.
It's gonna be smaller.
All right, now we're going to other. Darcy, I have two questions for you. Since everything was moved to Wednesday pickup, how come they didn't pick up the yard waste? They're still there tonight. Wednesday was our pickup day.
And you didn't have yard waste pickup tonight? I hadn't heard anything
There's
on that.
nothing, bags all over the place.
Let me follow up with Tish and find out where the failure.
appreciate it.
I will.
And also, one other thing, what did I do with it? When does our contract expire with Republic?
We have 2 more years.
Oh, 2 more years.
The rest of this year and 1 more year.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, Bill Schmidt, you're first.
Okay,
Reimbursement?
last meeting, it was brought to my attention that there were some items on the stipend forms that you provided me a list for the stipend forms. I went over the forms that I had claimed for the last year and found that there were 14 items that did not qualify that I had requested. So this evening, I wrote a check for $300 to the Village of Glendale Heights, delivered it to Mr. Poling, and that should take care of that.
Well, we're still gonna have our meeting with the stipends with Doug, Chief, and myself and Mary.
Trustee Siddiqui's got that up on the COW, so we'll talk.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Siddiqui, you're next.
Thank you. Yes, as Doug said, so Doug, that's what my question was. And before even you said that, when I raised this issue back in January and again in the last board meeting, quite a bit residents approaches me and they want to know not only the stipend, what is how we are paying. Like for the first thing they ask me is, oh, do you guys get the credit card as well, or we don't get any credit card to spend or anything. It's the only stipend, the board only. But I believe the village employees have the credit card and the mayor has the credit card, correct, Mr. Poling?
Most of the executive staff members have a credit card, and the village president has a card, yes, sir.
Okay, and the village staff uses it to buy certain things with those credit cards,
Yes.
We have a policy, and they purchase according to the policy.
according to the policy.
Yes, sir.
We do not use it for our lunches and dinners, do we?
We use it for village-related business. and
Village
if-
related, okay. So, just to be transparent, is this possible that we can also publish our credit card statements on our website? So because the residents, the taxpayers are the one who are paying that, and they have all the right to see who is spending what.
Can I answer?
You wanna take that, Doug, or?
Well, I would just say, I'm not opposed to anybody looking at anything that we do. I think transparency is the most important thing that we can do in local government. The only thing I would suggest is we would have to explain to the public our purchasing, how we purchase things, which went from, using POs for everything, purchase orders for everything, to now using primarily Amazon to get all of our stuff much more efficiently and quickly. And everything that we purchase, that you see on a credit card statement by a department head or any other person, is attached to a line item. So there's a budget line item within our annual budget, and every purchase is gone through every month by staff, and every purchase is assigned to a line item within our budget. So there's no items that are purchased that aren't attached to our budget. So we don't allow willy-nilly spending, if you will. Everything is attached to a line item that is audited every month by staff and by finance. And if it's not attached to a line item, there's a check mark as to why and what's it for.
Okay.
So I'm not opposed to, transparency is the most important thing that we do. And the public deserves to know what we spend their money on.
Exactly. And I mean, as an elected representative, especially, we, the elected representative, we should be, I'm not against to, our stipend should be online. People can see what we are spending on what. And since we don't have any credit card, luxury of credit card, I think Mayor does, so we can just have that one also be online.
Yeah, I have no, we can work on that with the stipends being put online. As long as the board's okay with us doing that. It's a board decision to make, to do that. But we need to write some language to explain to the public, how these charges are expensed.
Yeah,
And
and I
just
think-
so you understand that, we're not buying Amazon for ourselves.
Yeah, and I mean, not particularly, I'm more on, I know the staff use it for buying and everything has been budgeted, but I'm more talking about the elected representative, because when we get elected, so especially our stipends, I think I will be volunteering first myself, put it on. I mean, I have nothing to hide.
Right, so.
And any credit card which any of the elected representative use should be online, so people can see who's spending money on lunches and dinners. And for what, and what in return we are getting, why we are spending that money, and what is the reason for that?
I understand. If the board, recommends that we put the credit card statements and stipends onto the website, then that's what we'll do. So I think they're.
Doug, our committee is gonna be working on all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so back to the stipend thing very quickly. Chief Pappas and I have gone through and audited all the stipends. To be honest with you, over the course of the last 10 years, just call it that, there's been many documents written as to stipends. There's different authorization of stipend documents out there. Not everybody's on the same list, because somehow things have just not been communicated over time. So Chief Pappas and I have audited that list. We've melded them together. We need to meet next week. I'm gone Friday and Monday, but we're going to meet next week. We'll set up a date with Chester and Mary to get their opinion on what our list is and get that finalized. And we should have something for you for the next board meeting on what a final document looks like and what a recommendation to continue forward is within that document.
Okay, great, thanks. So basically, just like Bill gave it back, if you find out that, these are not the right one, then we should write down a check, correct?
Yeah, we'll discuss that as part of a recommendation with our document.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Light's next. Trustee Light, you're next.
Thank you.
Oh, I got a question on that. I got a question.
Oh, go ahead,
I
Pat.
got a question for the stipend.
What's your question? Make it quick.
Well, in that case, I'm gonna take about 10 minutes.
Right.
Dick Moreno.
You got 3 minutes, Pat.
The stipend, I could see that online. But I mean, I couldn't see other credit cards, what we do. I mean, what we buy, Public Works, 2x4s, ComDev, utilities, I mean, the water department.
So,
We buy
honestly,
sand, we buy stone.
Yeah, and actually, the biggest purchases, quite honestly, the biggest users of the credit cards, honestly, are the food purchases from the golf course. And, because that's all just kind of done through internet and online. And Parks does a lot of equipment buying, right, for the equipment that they're using. Most other things are done, the big purchases, right, are all done through purchase orders or long-term contract type stuff. But it's mainly the day-to-day kind of stuff. You'll see a lot of, again, food. The senior center's got a lot of food products that they buy for all of their events. It's just easier for them to go to Costco and buy stuff on a credit card than it is, or Gordon Food Service, and just use a credit card to do that, and then just attach it to the line item for that budget. So there's really nothing, I mean, the public would understand exactly as how we operate, what those purchases are. My only concern of the public, honestly, is them just thinking that it's our personal credit card and we're not attaching it to order of business, right, and the needs of the community. But if we can explain that somehow, and they can see the transparency of it, whatever the board decides is what we'll do. So, we're going to come back at the next board meeting in 2 weeks, so you have 2 weeks to kind of think about what you want for what to put on the website. So we'll have that for you in 2 weeks.
All right, thank you. Trustee Light.
All right, I'm told we really can't do anything with this tonight, so I'm going to have to, I would like to bring up policy number 2006-1. It was revised in January 11th in 2016. I would like to take a poll of the board to bring this policy back and amend it once again. I guess we would have to do this next week or next meeting then?
If you want to poll the board, you can poll the board.
What is,
They need to know what policy it is.
what is the policy?
Oh, don't get excited, I'll get there.
You know,
My goodness.
2006.
Okay, it is a policy for administrative, I guess, executive staff. I could read it to you if I could find it. The use of cars. Basically, we have one car for Public Works, one car for administrative staff, and I think maybe one other car.
Chief of Police.
What's that?
Chief of Police,
Oh,
Public
Chief of
Works,
Police,
and
yes.
Village Administrator.
Out of all of the cars, I want only the Chief of Police to have this availability 24/7. The only time I've ever seen it necessary was for the Chief of Police. So there's one car that's out floating around. I want to see it rein back in and parked at night, in either here or in another building, and used during business hours and/or for special events that need to be taking place outside of town, but not leaving the town of Glendale Heights unless it's a special event for that particular division. So that's what I'm looking to do, kind of just revise the entire policy and bring it back to just one car being outside the village.
Well, we can bring that up at the next board meeting after everything is settled. What do you guys think? Okay?
Yep, fine with me.
Yes. Oh,
All right.
thank you for checking with me.
No problem. You're to my back all the time.
It seems
I
to,
need a stick or something.
it seems to be good to go.
All right, Pat, you're next. Community development.
I'm done, Joanne did it all right there. There's
Good.
nothing else to say.
Okay, now, that's about it. We're done with committee of the whole.
If you guys are done, it'd be, a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Pat, I mean, not Pat, Bill.
Pat.
Wow, hey, taller.
My uncle.
Going to be insulted here. Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Roll call vote.
Write this down.
Good timing.
Trustee Schmidt,
Yes.
trustee Siddiqui.
He just stepped out.
Okay. Trustee Light,
Yes.
trustee Meritato,
Yes.
trustee Pojek,
Yes.
trustee Schroeder,
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Coker.
Mayor, you want to call the other meeting back to order?
No, we have to go.
No, you do it here.
Okay.
Do it here.
You reconvene the village board meeting.
We are going to reconvene a village board meeting.
And then when we last left, there was a motion to go into executive session for two items that were delineated. So with that, there could be a motion we could recess into
Executive session.
executive session.
So you need a motion, Mayor?
Motion to go to executive session. Trustee Light and trustee Schmidt.
Who's making the motion to
They did already.
to go to,
To go to.
Yeah,
they
to
did
executive
already,
session.
yes.
So we reconvene the meeting.
Yeah, we did already.
We've already made a motion to go.
it was Bill and Mike.
Bill and Mike?
Yeah. We're going to the big conference room. Please.
Yes.
We're going.
The big one.